Okay, we're now ready to build the top portion of our cell phone, and then we'll make some adjustments to tweak the shape of our cell phone. I'm going to exit edit mode, go into object mode. Again, I'm going to snap the cursor to the hinge point of this object, the object center, with a Shift C. I'm sorry, Shift C snaps it to the center of the X, Y, and Z. We're going to use a Shift S to snap the cursor to selection. Okay, and going to add a cube, add a mesh cube, and again we'll start shaping that. Before I do anything else here, I want to be sure to switch into edit mode so I don't move the object center. Click that little hand to turn on my manipulator view over here. See, do I have transparency on or off? Want it on. Okay. 3 for side view. And once again, we're not going to try to make this absolutely perfect, but we do want to get it in the general vicinity of the shape of the cell phone. Going to adjust the thickness over here, and now I'm going to put the base of it right there, show you a little trick. I'm going to change the rotational center to my 3D cursor and rotate that into position. It's not exactly right, but close. Go ahead and put that back on median point. Now we're going to go into, we're in edge mode right now, we're going to go back into vertex mode and use A to deselect everything and do a B selection box around this. And I'm going to use extrude, and we're going to extrude a region, moving it up like that. And what I'm going to do now is go ahead and begin to shape this. And extrude again. Go ahead and shape that. I could extrude several times and then shape afterwards. It's just a matter of preference. So that isn't exactly, again, like our picture. This picture is sort of low in resolution and a bit fuzzy, and we're just going to do our best to get this phone so that it folds up nicely and it looks pretty good. We do have to account for some of the change in size of the phone is actually due to the perspective of the picture. It's not an actual change in size, so don't get too wrapped up in all that. Let's do a little shape adjusting here. We'll go into edit mode. I'll turn off my manipulator and let's see. Gonna look in this view and see what I've got. Start scaling that in a little bit. Select these two. Scale that in a little bit. And select just these top ones. Scale that in a little bit. So Let's take a look at that in solid. So I have a sort of a scaled in, tapered little end there. Alright. Tab into edit mode. Go into wire mode. The toggle there is Z key, is the hotkey for that. Let's deal with this one. I'm noticing up here that this object is slightly wider than this one. That's probably not a problem, but I'm going to go ahead and see if I can adjust that slightly. Seems like I can't get it exactly right, so what I'm going to try to do is a numerical scaling. I'm going to do a scale and then X, and then I'm going to do a 0.001. I'm sorry. Escape. Let's undo that. Undo. I'm going to do a S and then an X axis 1.01. That's too much. Escape. Scale X 1.005. And so I just scaled that on the x-axis by factor 1.005. Give myself a tiny little bit of scaling, and you can do that numerically. That's really cool. So now I want to deal with this part. I don't want to have that interfere, so I'm going to move that to another layer. Press the M key, and I'm just going to select the next button. I'm going to say OK, and it is now here on this layer. And so now I don't have to look at it. I'm going to line up both views here. Again, set my draw type over here to wireframe. Go into edit mode. And I'm going to start making adjustments to my phone here. Let's see if we grab all that, what happens. That'll be good. Better start at the bottom. Right here, how about? Not there. Let's just pull that in a little bit. Scale that in a little bit. Scale that in a little bit. We should probably do the whole cell phone project again using the mirror modifier. I could show you how you could do all this with a mirror modifier. So there we go. Egad, we never filled in that other side. Did we fill in both sides of the bottom? Yes, we did. Well, not to worry. Let's see, this is our front view. Let's leave that. That's our front view. We'll go over here in our side view. Whoops, don't mean to split area. Go into edit mode, tab key. And we'll just go ahead. I like filling with the edge mode. Less things to select that way. Whoops. Fill. Oh yeah, we didn't want that one, remember. Let's undo that one. Here we start to have to make some choices. Let's see. I'm hit Z, go into shaded mode. See, I've got edge there, edge there, edge there. What do we do on the other side? We did that, right? We filled that in. And then we filled in that. And then we filled in, so we filled in that. right there. That's what we did. Yep, looks good. All right. Make a couple of adjustments here. A key, V key. Bring that in a little bit. All right. So back to a number 3 side view there. Forgive me for jumping around so much, but that's just sometimes the way I do it, and it's okay if you do that. So let's turn on the other layer again. Something that I do want to add is this connecting hinge portion here. I think that would be a nice touch. So what we'll do is select the top piece. Remember our pivot point is still right here. We'll take that into edit mode. Now back into object mode. Turn off the manipulator. Going to do Shift S, snap the cursor to selection, tab into edit mode, and I'm going to add a cylinder. Now the cylinder this time should add perpendicular to the view, and that's because I am in edit mode on an object, and that's the default way it comes in. So I'm going to scale that right to there, and then over in my front view, pull it out. In my front view, pull it out to the width of that hinge, and now I've got to make this connect, so I'm going to extrude from here a region and G key grab it and just adjust this. G key grab that, and I'm going to cheat a little bit here. Don't totally like the way that is, so I'm going to just adjust it a little bit there for thickness. Again, I'm not trying to make the perfect model here. This is just to help you get the modeling basics down. And B, I'm going to select these verts and those. I don't want those. Middle mouse to paint those off. And we're going to extrude a little section from here. And we're going to put our cursor right there. Change our rotation pivot. And we're going to rotate that down. Not totally sure what happens in there. Now I've tabbed out of edit mode and whoop, change the rotation point to median point. And you can see our piece of our cell phone is rotating happily around there. This piece is rotating there. So now I want to tweak the bottom edge of this just slightly. Give us that little bevel. Turn on manipulators again and just bring that in. Whoops. Let's make sure we have all the pieces. Those. B again, get those. Pull that in just a little bit. Well, that's no good. So, still having a little struggle with this because, you know, modeling is a process, and been modeling on the fly here, and I'm just tweaking things around here so that I can add a little bevel to the edge. I'm going to get that, and that. Go to a front view and just pull that in a little bit, and that's what I wanted right there, so that it beveled in on the side just a little bit. Let's clean that up a little bit right there. We're going edge mode. select that edge, just pull that up a little bit, push it in a little bit. Alright, and we'll just call that quits. Alright, so there we have it. We've modeled a cell phone. Very basic cell phone. So you want to mess with this bottom part? Well, let's also mess with the bottom part here a little bit. Take that into edit mode. All select. Let's get into vertice mode. Okay. Take this. Let me get back over here and in this view, see what I've got. Probably better to select it over here. Let's see, we'll select these as well. No, that's not working. Let's deselect these. Alright, now we'll go over here in this side view, go into wireframe mode. We'll select these, pull those in a little bit. And now what we have is we have a little bit of a taper going on there. Looks a little bad. So let's just select these right here. Whoops. So yeah, I still have these others selected. That's why it's good to hit the A key and make sure everything's cleared. It's very easy to start moving things you don't want to move. Alright. So we'll call that quits.